the vibe that I want to go for our illustration style at ConvertKit. Sketch note, looking like it's a creator's notebook, a journal, doodling, figuring things out. It's going to be a big job though, because yeah, illustration, not my strong suit. Hey friends, Charlie from the present day here to say that this vlog was actually filmed a couple months ago, but I'm only just now getting around to uploading it because I went through a pretty tough time in my personal life. My beloved cat Nora has sadly passed away. This vlog was filmed a couple weeks before she got sick, so there's a clip of her in it and you might see her in the background of some shots as you normally would in my vlogs. So I felt like I couldn't upload this without addressing that and letting you know that sad news first. Over the past month or so, I obviously haven't felt like vlogging or streaming as I've been dealing with that situation, like trying to help her recover and then ultimately grieving her. But I'm doing okay, as okay as anyone can be in this situation, and finally I'm feeling like getting back into vlogging again. So yeah, I wanted to upload this one because I really like it and I hope you will too, and I'll talk more about the situation in the vlog that comes after this. Alright, I'll leave you to get back into it now and we'll go back to Charlie from the past before she had pink hair. It is Thursday morning, maybe about like 9:30 a.m. and I'm making full use of a remote work life to head to the beach. Coming out to the beach so much while I was on my sabbatical really showed me how easy it is to just like come out here, just spend a couple of hours making the bike ride, laying on the beach, and that it's something that could be done in the morning before work. And so while it's summertime and this heat wave going on, I am going to make use of being able to go swim in the sea when I want, at least one morning a week. And the benefit of coming on a weekday, especially when it's this early in the morning, is that there is like hardly anybody here, especially compared to a weekend. Lovely. I decided to start my workday essentially out here by sitting, having a coffee, some breakfast, and doing some journaling about what I see as the work that we need to do in the short term and like longer term as well for the ConvertKit brand and our brand studio team. I've been back from sabbatical for like a week and a half now, and I was thrown straight into like writing performance reviews and a bunch of some like reactive stuff as well, but I feel like I'm not fully back in the regular day-to-day yet, and so it was a really good chance, excuse me, it's just some police on quad bikes for some reason. I felt like it was a good chance to sit and do some dreaming for the future, you know, while I could be in that big picture mindset before the small picture sucks me back in again. I definitely need to find ways to do that more often, so that was actually quite nice, sitting, doing it analog, writing in my bullet journal. Now though, it is nearly noon, so I'm going to cycle back home, shower, and sit down at the computer. Showered, have caught up on Slack, though it was really nice to start my day thinking and future planning rather than the reactive messages. I've got to remember to do that more often. I always go to Slack as like the first thing in my day because I know that working with folks based in the US, there's going to be messages and there's going to be things that happened after I signed off for the night. So yeah, note to self. Right now, I'm just looking at some feedback from David on some work I've been doing on the resources section, which is like resources, content hub. I'm not yet sure exactly what we should call it. Yeah, basically it's just all of our different types of content that we have at ConvertKit. Some very rough mock-ups here, and I've been doing some like information architecture of the navigation and the drop down for this section of the site. This has been something that's been on my mind for a while, and yeah, it felt good to get it down on digital paper to get the ideas out there. Now I have an hour before my first call of the day, which is actually a performance review for one of my team. Like I said, that's the work that I dove into. At ConvertKit we do self reviews, so basically you write your own review, answering the questions of like reflecting on the past 6 months and talking about what you want to aim for in the future. Your manager also writes a review answering the same questions or similar ones, and then you meet to discuss. So yeah, I finished all the writing of my reviews, and now we're in the conversation parts. Got 1 today, 2 tomorrow, and I guess I need to have like my own review with my manager at some point too. Yeah, I need to talk to Nathan about that and book that in. But yeah, I think I'm gonna take from the journaling that I did this morning some of the ideas I have. I wrote down what I think I need to do for the close of this year. We've got what, 4 months, 5 months left of the year. That's actually quite a big chunk of time, and I have written down stuff that I think I need to do in it. So I'm gonna start putting that somewhere into our like project management system. I think I gotta write up a pitch for one project that I think we need to work on as a team. So that's how I'm gonna spend this hour before meetings start. Hey team! Well, I've had a lot of Zoom calls to end my day, but I think it's been a really productive one. Yeah, some good review conversations, a few more to come tomorrow, and I was also able to go over a few of my thoughts on like the ways I think our brand studio team will grow over the next 3 years with my manager and my one-on-one today. So my journaling this morning paid off. Now I'm gonna sign off for the day, and I will see you back here tomorrow for Friday. All of my plants are dying in this heat wave. Made it to Friday. It's only my 2nd week back after sabbatical, so yeah, still feeling like a win to make it through to Friday. I have a couple more performance review calls today and to catch up with our director of marketing as well, so it's going to be quite a meeting heavy day. Also because I have 2 pre-interview calls for inside marketing design today as well. The season is coming together nicely. I'm sure you're sick of hearing me talk about it by now, but it's honestly a project I'm very proud of, so I'm not gonna shut up about it. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 companies fully confirmed, like we've had the pre-interview call and everything. Another 4 lined up, and then 1 more that I'm like in the process of convincing to be a part of it. So I think I only need to book 2 more after this from my list of like all the prospects that I have. I always have to reach out to more companies than I end up featuring, because there's always going to be one that can't do it, or it's not the right time, or like their PR won't allow them or whatever. But I'm very excited about how this season is coming together. Before I start my work day, I think I'm going to spend just half an hour working on something for myself. It's what I always like to do in the morning. It's like giving a bit of energy to my own business before I switch over and give the majority of the day to my ConvertKit work. I think what I'm going to do is write my newsletter for the week. So let's set a little timer, shall we, and see how quickly I can get this done. I'm going to aim for half an hour to get all the things in order. Let's go. Boom, finished with 3 minutes-ish to spare. The newsletter this week involved less writing from me, I guess, because the main feature, I always do like 1 feature essay or breakdown, article, I don't know, inspiration, talk through, I don't know how to describe them, in the newsletter, and then like a couple of smaller points. And this week's larger piece was a Q&A with the staff brand designer behind Loom's cancelled meetings campaign, which I wrote about in the last newsletter, so it's like a follow-up. Yeah, if you're not on my email list, then you should join it. I'll link it in the description. I pour a lot of effort into it because I want to make sure it's like worthwhile as something landing in your inbox. It's called the Marketing Design Dispatch, but if you're not a marketing designer, I think there'll still be stuff that you can relate to in it. I do breakdowns of landing page designs, breakdowns of campaigns and rebrands. Sometimes there's more like personal essays of things I'm thinking about or like going on with my career. Sometimes it's about like, I don't know, conversations themes or trends or, I don't know, important topics happening in the brand and marketing design world. Like coming up, I've been drafting for a while this little essay about Midjourney and DALL-E, if that's how you pronounce it, AI image generation tools. I need to get on to finishing that one. It'll happen one day. So perhaps if you subscribe, then you will get that one in your inbox. Okay, that feels good though. I'm glad I spent the time on that. Now I'm going to dive into work, and as per usual, I have way more things on my to-do list than I'm gonna be able to make time to get done this week. But let me go pick something out. I know I'm going to spend a bit of time just really getting my head into this campaign we have going on right now. It was running while I was out on sabbatical, so all the design work has been done by David, but I want to make sure that like he has what he needs to get it going. So I'm just going to get my head into it, give him some feedback, and that will be a good way to start the day. Spending some time trying to create a bit of a mood board for the vibe that I want to go for our illustration style at ConvertKit. I don't know, I don't feel like we have a very distinctive one, and what we do have isn't quite right for like the future of where we're going to want to go as a brand. I think we're going to need to hire a contract illustrator to, I don't know, like, yeah, have them on an ongoing basis, but also create a set of initial illustrations that we want to use. So I've just been, definitely the general vibe that I want to go for is very like sketch note, looking like it's in a creator's notebook, a journal, doodling, figuring things out, that sort of stuff. I really like. This has been a huge inspiration from Dan Petty. This was a, what was it called? That marker pack, I think. And I just love the general style of this, and we've been trying to apply this for a while, and this is why I think it's going to be important to bring in a professional to try and help us out with it. So this is just a few things I like that I've grabbed from Pinterest, from Dribble, exploring some ideas, and also things that are not going to be right for us, because I think that's important to clarify as well when you're, I don't know, when your direction is something as general as this. Yeah, I gotta talk about what I mean by that. So there's still work to do on this. I don't think we're there yet, but it's something that I'm trying to get closer on. This was one of the things that when I was journaling yesterday, I noted that we really need to figure out, because I feel like right now, every time we create an illustration or create imagery, we're essentially creating brand debt because it's not in the style that we know we want to pursue going forward. And I think we just need to make it a project to get it figured out and then apply it everywhere. It's going to be a big job though, because yeah, illustration, not my strong suit, which is why I think we need to bring in a professional. Okay, I have a couple of performance reviews coming up next, so I'm going to go prep for them, and I've got to eat lunch at some point too. It's turned out to be a busy day. Okay, so I gotta be honest, it is now the next week on from what you were last seeing. It is Thursday, and I have been doing some more work on this illustration and imagery style project. I've got some updates to show you. So now I'm making use of Figjam's section feature to organize this board a little bit more. By the way, I have a Figjam 101 video. If you've not used Figjam before and you want to get to know all the features and how to use it, then I'll link that on a card, which I think is up on that side. Why do I never remember that? Literally in any video. Anyway, back to my Figjam. There's been a few more things added in here that I've spotted recently that I really like. This is from Gusto, this is from Oyster, and Oyster are gonna be part of Inside Marketing Design Season 3, incidentally, so that'll be fun. And then I've, yeah, noted the styles we want to avoid and like why. Then I've also taken a look at what does exist for us and put it in here of what I think is working and what isn't. Under the what isn't is things where it's like, usually it's too much texture, the lines are too thick, or the illustrations lean a bit too cute, as opposed to over here where they're like, none of these are perfect, to be honest. I think this one here is probably the closest. I really like the doodle style of this. They're closer, and so that's why I've put them in here. And then I also took a look at some key competitors about their illustration and imagery style. I think it's always good to keep competitors in mind when you're working on something like this, because although we of course don't want to compare ourselves or make decisions based on our competitors when it comes to our brand, the reality is that someone considering between a bunch of different tools would be looking at these, and so I want to make sure that our brand stands out amongst these ones. So yeah, it's important to keep in mind. I've spent like maybe a lot longer on this than you might realize, but I don't know, it takes time gathering all the things and making annotations to clarify your thinking on it and all that. I've just made a little loom and shared it with the team so that they can give me feedback and chime into this Figjam as well and add their own notes on what they think is working and what isn't. I also took to Nathan, our CEO, who is also my manager at the moment, while we're hiring a new leader for the growth team. And we both agree that this image here with the sketchy lines and the watercolor behind it feels like it has potential. Nathan in particular called out that this one feels like it has some element of being digital to it, as opposed to this one, which is like a little bit too textured and hand done. So yeah, I don't know. It's hard to make the leap from this into all of the illustration and imagery styles that we would need, but that is the challenge to figure out as a brand designer, right? And I might bring in a design contractor to help me explore some things with this, to be honest, just because I feel like this is definitely a two heads are better than one situation. Anyway, I just wanted to share an update on where this project is, and I'm sure I will continue to update you on the project in future vlogs as it progresses and as we get closer to figuring this out. But yeah, it's been cool to kick this off, and for the fact that it kind of started from the journaling session that I did at the beach that you saw at the start of the vlog, so it's nice. Clearly that time was valuable, and I feel like I'm working on something that will help the future, like consistency of the brand, give us more options to work with and all of that. Anyway, thank you for watching this vlog, and have a good week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.